Hello, hello. Welcome to Content Masters, a Hello Woofy show designed for entrepreneurs like yourself, business owners, and most importantly, hustlers. So today we have a hustler for sure. We have Joe Rubin of Archangels, and he's going to be talking about his latest venture back into the startup industry. So Joe, how are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. So, hey, I was just noticing your cool preload, your roll there. You have the picture of yourself with this really short hair, and then you come on screen, you got like a foot and a half of hair growth now. I like it.
Well, see, that's what happens when you lock yourself up in an apartment for about a year and a half, and then you come out and you're like, oh my God, this is the technology we built. Oh my God, I forgot to cut my hair.
Nice. You come out, you have a long beard, long hair, like you've been on a desert island for like a year just working on your startup. That's awesome.
Yeah, totally. And we're on a mission to build the next billion-dollar company. But today is not about me. Today's about Joe Rubin. So Joe, tell us
Yes.
about the first thing I associate with Joe Rubin, which is Archangels. Tell us a little bit about Archangels. What's the mission, and then go into some of the other projects you're working on. And while you're doing that, I'll share a screen and show you the page, the Archangel website.
Sure. So we started Archangel Fund 10 years ago now. It's been a while. It's the first member managed fund in New York. And I started it with three other guys, Mike Kelly, Ed Reitler, and Dave Freshman. And the goal was to create sort of a hybrid model between an angel group and a venture fund, where if you're a member of a venture fund, you write a check, you're an LP, you get a quarterly report, you get a yearly report. We wanted to put together a fund, but get those LPs more involved, more active, where they can come in, watch the company presentations, ask questions of the CEOs, get involved in the discussion with the other investors in the room, and then vote on those deals and see which companies get invested. And it's more of a group decision. And it's been going well. We've invested in over 40 companies at this point. Some of them have done amazing. We've had 6 successful exits. A few of the companies that just scrolled up there, they're now valued over $100 million. Of course, not every company wins, sadly. Some companies unfortunately went out of business, but overall we have just a fantastic portfolio of amazing companies in various industries, mostly tech. So I got the short hair look too there, all right, and the actual tie, which I actually never wear anymore. So, but it's been a lot of fun. We've got 70 investors in each of our 2 funds, folks with a variety of backgrounds and skill sets. Some of them are amazing and professional and longtime angel investors and venture capitalists who really just spend nonstop just reviewing deals and term sheets and understand this industry incredibly well. And some folks are brand new to angel investing and are just learning, but have an amazing background as an operator of a company and bring that incredible skill set to the table. So it's a fantastic mix. Every meeting, I learned something new from one of the members. And I've been doing this for a while. I've heard a lot of things on the venture side, but I'm always learning something new, always finding out an interesting fact, always seeing a different point of view from one of our members. And it's been a fantastic ride for the past 10 years and some really amazing companies in our portfolio.
So Joe, if someone wants to get in touch with you or someone at Archangels themselves, of course they can go to the website, they can apply and things of that nature, but how do they get a introduction to one of the members? Where do they find them? How do they find them? What should they say?
Sure. Actually, we list all of our members. You scrolled past that. That was that whole list of all of our members in the fund there. So you're welcome to reach out to any of those folks, especially, and this is just for any entrepreneur. Find someone who's got a similar background to you, went to the same school as you, works in the same industry as you, maybe knows somebody that you know. Those warm introductions go a long way. And with so many members, we get a lot of deal flow because everybody sees something cool once in a while. And with that many members, we're getting just a lot of interesting deals coming in all the time.
Got it. And for our viewers, of course, you can follow Joe on at Funding Posts on Twitter, as well as reach out to him on LinkedIn as well. I'm sure he'll.
Yeah, it's my Instagram as well is Funding Post, and also for Archangel Fund, it is Archangel Fund on both Twitter, Instagram. So you can check us out there.
So let's talk about /shout.
All
You're
right.
now really cool. You were cool before, but now in the esports industry, you're even cooler now. Tell us about this.
Thanks. I just joined the advisory board of this, but I'm being a very active advisor. It is something that's just been very cool. We started this probably 2 months ago, 3 months ago, in an effort to bring all of esports a little more down to earth. So we're summarizing everything that's going on in esports, and there's a ton of stuff going on in esports. Like the amount of money in this industry, in prizes, in investments, in advertising, is astronomical. It's like incredible and growing faster than anything else on the planet. I mean, and this, with so much going on, we said, all right, let's put together something that is a very condensed, concise, easy to read, easy to digest bit of news, so you can get an entire summary of what happened in the esports world every morning in just a couple of minutes, just a couple of quick reads, get all the facts, and just be on your way. So, and it's a mix. It's not just player news. There is certainly player news, but it's also business news. Who's getting funded, what businesses are growing, who's getting acquired, what things are being released, and of course, fun stuff like competitions, giveaways, prizes, and codes and secret downloads and things like that. So it's a really cool mix newsletter, and it's going well, and it's already actually gotten some good attention. We have some good sponsors on there. We're working with a fund, an ETF fund, as one of our sponsors, Nerd ETF. We're working with fantasy sports companies, working with a few other companies that are excited about the industry. Main Gear is one of our sponsors, so we had a huge backpack giveaway. So it's a lot of fun. It's been really a fantastic experience, getting a lot of attention. It's exciting. It's an exciting industry, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
So tell me about, let's go into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I by way of a crowdfunding platform, I was actually able to invest in a cardboard game live company. So think Twitch with, broadcasting, actual board games and the interactions happening thereof. I thought that was super unique. Talk to me about, how did the esports industry actually become so incredibly powerful? And I kind of think about, Justin, who I believe founded Twitch and then sold it for a lot of money, and that was kind of like broadcasting, esports for the first time, or at the initial phase of the esports industry. And today, you see Fortnite, you see people, teenagers winning millions of dollars, competing competitively on the esports arena itself. How did we get to this point, and where are we going next, in your opinion?
It is growing like wildfire. It is insane. I mean, you mentioned some of these teenagers that are making a huge amount of money. You're not joking. I mean, I remember when I was young, we'd be playing video games, and my parents would be like, "Yo, don't play video games. Just pay attention. You'll never get anywhere by playing video games." Now, like, man, I really wish I didn't listen to them. I wish I'd been a professional esports player. I could have been, raking in amazing amounts of cash. We contact some of these people, and we're like, "Hey, would you like to, be a spokesman? Could we, maybe we'll sponsor you and everything?" And we just can't afford them. I mean, some of these people are like, you can't afford me. I'm sorry. I'm like, you're 16. Like, I can't afford to pay you. It's insane the amount of money some of these people make, and it's not slowing down. It's projected to double, triple over the next several years. The prize money that's been going out is astronomical, and it's definitely not stopping. The CEO of this company was Twitch user number 6, I believe. So he's been in it for quite some time. Our writers are live and breathe this, and they are they spend all day following it, playing, being in the industry, talking to people, talking to gamers, talking to companies, and they put together really just some quality content every day.
So tell me, what is your favorite game? Platform and game.
Oh man, I'm gonna date myself.
That's okay.
Severely. I'm almost embarrassed to say. So Mortal Kombat, I would say, has been just really my all-time favorite game ever. So okay. That's and again, super dated. I sadly and hate to admit it, I don't spend a lot of time doing streaming and online gaming. I don't have time. But if you were to say any game of all time, that would be it.
Well, we'll change that. We'll do a nerd venture capital hangout on the weekend. We'll have a bunch of people playing video games. I was gonna say, speaking of dating yourself, I remember the first time playing Age of Empires in 1999 or 2000, and
nice.
that celebrated their 25th anniversary. with their, I think, last release. I don't know if it's the last release or not, but I will say, to your point, video games did help me in terms of trying to figure out strategy and communication and resource management. So in the world of Age of Empires, as many of our viewers may have played when they were younger, if you remember the villager and you remember the soldier, right? The soldier could only defend, couldn't produce anything, couldn't build anything, but they could only defend and go out and get the message, basically the message out. I think of that person as a PR person or a marketing person. And the villager can only build things. If you tried to put them against an enemy soldier, they would die immediately, right? But they were really good at building, nurturing, expanding the civilization. Those are kind of, in my opinion, product managers, product engineers, engineers in general, the designers. And I didn't realize that because the resources were on the top left, the food, the wood, and the gold, I really had to manage cash flow, engineering resources. Like, it kind of started laying the land for me in terms of how do you actually build a startup in a weird way. It starts giving you the mindset of resource management and people management. I don't know if you felt the same way or if you were agreeing.
So, well, actually, it's a little bit different for me. When I was in college, I actually worked for Acclaim and American Softworks. I was a game tester. So I basically spent hours and hours and hours playing video games and getting paid for it, which was really cool. And the thing that it kind of taught me was I got to show off some of these games to my friends, and it showed me this is what's interesting is getting to see people's reactions to these games that aren't even released yet, and what they thought, what was interesting, and kind of seeing that from a startup lens, 20 years later, is getting to test out these new companies, new pieces of software, new technologies, and see the reaction. And I'm seeing it as an investor before everyone else sees it. Typically,
yeah.
We get it to look several months or a year or two into the future before something's mainstream.
Yeah.
We get to see it and play around with it and test it and show it off to people and show it to friends, show it to family, and see the reactions beforehand. So it was very cool. I mean, it obviously made me awesome in my dorm room, by having the latest video games that aren't even released yet, and the next NBA Jam for next year, and nobody's seen it yet. So that certainly was very cool, and I like doing it as well. I like showing off cool technologies that I'm beta testing or playing around with, that we're considering investing in, to different friends and family, and seeing their reactions now as well.
No, I mean the whole idea of in-app purchases, where you don't actually buy a game and then you just hold on to it for years, and you may upgrade to a new version of the game. It's subscriptions within a game, buying things within a game. It completely changed the economy in terms of gaming, but also other software. So let's move on.
Agreed. Yeah.
Move on to your next thing, which is SoCal Startup Day. First of all, it seems like a great logo. I feel like I want to be on the beach, but tell us a little bit about what this is. And actually, in general, I mean, I've known you for so many years with funding posts. Tell us about what makes you go into events, and why do you like connecting people?
So this is going to be one of our biggest events, and I've done some pretty big events over the years.
Yeah.
But this is definitely one of our biggest. So what we're doing is we're putting together really the entire Southern California startup and venture community, pulling together into this one event. We rented an airplane hangar in the middle of Irvine, took all the airplanes out, and we're just using that as our facility for this event, where we're bringing in probably around 1,000 people that day, a whole bunch of startups, hundreds of investors, and putting together just a really cool and light agenda. We have a few panels, a few fireside chats, but the goal is for people to network, to see all the different startups. And it's not just a tech startup. It's not all technology. We have some food startups, some bio startups. We have just some consumer product startups all over the place. And we are going to have some interesting discussions around how companies are getting together, how they're working together, and something very different is a community panel, where we're bringing in all of the organizations to get up there and speak on the panel about how they work with startups, how they help startups, what their schedules are like, what they do, what they provide, who they introduce you to. So we've got just a ton of people coming that day that are supporters of the startup community. A ton of investors who are actively investing, a ton of VC funds, angel groups, and it should be a lot of fun. And of course, like always, lots of cocktails, lots of food. We've got a taco truck coming in for lunch, giving out tacos to everybody. We've got Beyond Meat, one of the biggest success stories in the area, is coming in. They're sponsoring this and providing food for the cocktail party. We've got just a really cool setup the entire day. So between it'll be fun. It'll be a little more of a festival. It'll be a little bit of a networking experience, and just hopefully we'll see some amazing success stories come out of this, and people will have a good time, and we'll do it again. So, and I've done these events, and I've done these forever. As you mentioned, I've been doing conferences like this for 20 years now. Again, man, I know I sound old when I say that, but basically putting together entrepreneurs and investors and all of the service providers around that space where people can find a good space to network, talk, exchange business cards, and have a couple of drinks and some good food.
Well, I will say on the record, you've been very supportive of me personally since I was a college kid, and letting me into your events and letting me pitch at your events. So I do want to say officially thank you for all the support.
You're welcome.
And I do remember all of those events, especially the ones at the in the Gramercy Park, the club over there. That was definitely one of my favorite locations. So let's talk about.
I just want to throw a little thing in. I love seeing that, by the way, that it is my favorite thing. I've had so many people that come to me at a young age, and I don't charge a lot for tickets, but they can't sometimes. Money's tight, especially when you're young. So we give out tons of free tickets to college students and especially those folks that are helpful. That, hey, can I get involved? Thanks for giving me the ticket. Can I help work somehow? Can I stack chairs? Can I work your registration table? And of course, I love volunteers, right? So happy to do that. And usually at the end of the night, I get a lot of food at my events. Often we have a lot of leftover food. And, I give it out to all the helpers and all the young folks that are there. And, people stuff their pockets with Kind bars and take, boxes of food and shrimp and everything. And I remember a few years ago, somebody came back to me and they had a pretty good company now. They raised their Series A. They were doing just fine. And they weren't raising capital at the time. And he comes to me at the event and he's like, yeah, I'm not raising capital, but do you remember me? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't. He's like, I was so poor. I was like, I didn't have anything. You let me into the event and you gave me like 10 pounds of shrimp and you gave me all this food and all this beer and everything. He's like, I just wanted to come back to your event and say thank you. Now we're doing great. We're not raising capital, we're generating revenue. But he's like, it was a cool experience as a first time entrepreneur, just getting into this industry. And he's like, so it's always nice to hear things like that and see people that are starting out and then succeed.
I do hope more entrepreneurs remember that, because a lot of you should never take for granted the people who helped you get to where you are. So all right, so let's do a lightning round. Are you ready, Joe, for a lightning round?
Sure.
Favorite investor, and it can be yourself.
That's good, because it's not myself. I would say, in the news just very recently is Brian Cohen from New York Angels. He's now retired from angel investing, so he says. But that guy always has a smile, always has something positive to say, and is always just a huge supporter of entrepreneurs, of investors, always gives out great information. And I would say that I'm a big fan.
I would say the same. He actually invested in my last company, and I was just at his award ceremony a few days ago, or 2 days ago. And it definitely, brought a lot of memories. I remember pitching to him and convincing him to give me a meeting at Consumer Electronic Week before he was even set up with his company booth and everything. He was like, "Okay, fine, kid, I'll invest, in your company."
Nice.
Favorite book.
Favorite book. I would say "Oh, the Places You Go" by Dr. Seuss.
Okay, all right. Why?
I know that was out of left field there. I know you're expecting some Tom Clancy novel or something.
No.
I like that. I like that one, and I read that one to my kids often because it shows you can win, but you're also going to get punched in the face a lot. And what do? You have to get back up and keep going and move mountains.
If I ever open a school and I want to run a Hogwarts style school like from Harry Potter, I would not use textbooks. I would use books like that or songs, because they are so much more relatable. They're so much more memorable. One of my favorite songs, and that's my next question, by the way, in terms of your question, is Empire State of Mind, specifically with Alicia Keys for solo. it brings tears to my eyes all the time because I remember trying to make it in New York, and that song would be on the radio all the time. And so, like, I think that's the education people should be getting, is like inspiration and motivation to get into entrepreneurship and tech, in general.
Yeah, motivation is a huge key. So anything people can do to motivate other people to succeed and overcome their fears. I mean, I remember being young, and I was a horrible public speaker. I was so scared all the time to talk in public, to get in front of the class and to speak. And I'm glad that I changed that attitude, because I have so much fun on stage now. It's my favorite thing to do.
So, favorite song?
Yeah, anything by Aerosmith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite city, and it can be New York.
Come on, that's
okay. You and I would say the exact same things. It wouldn't be fair. Favorite second city.
Favorite second city, Miami for sure.
Okay.
I always have fun. You can't go to Miami and not have fun. Like I've thrown some fun parties down there and South Beach, and just a great time every single time.
Okay. All right. And the last one, this is going to be an interesting one for you. Let's see. Let's put this up here. Favorite emoji. Now, this is a real-time ticker we built for figuring out what emojis are being used in real time. Pick an emoji from here and tell me why.
I would say favorite one that I use probably most often is that one. I use that one a lot.
All right.
Why? And why? Because just rock on. Just enjoy. That's a big one. And of course the smiling one, because I smile a lot. So whatever a smiling emoji is in there is
all right. Yeah. This one. So these are actually the ones on the top left are used the most. You can see by the blimps.
Yeah, I don't use the tears one. I don't really cry a lot when I'm laughing. The wink one. Yeah. So second one down, second one over, that little wink one. Yeah.
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. Before we conclude, Joe, what else would you want to share with our community of entrepreneurs, hustlers who are just like you and I, or maybe just getting started? What would be one thing you leave them with? Well, it could be a tip. It could be a ask. It could be anything. What would you say?
Can it be two things?
Sure.
All right.
We'll have that.
Nice. Thanks for bending the rules here for me. So I would say, one, overcome your fears of getting out there and pitching your business and really just bust your ass and find a company that generates revenue, that makes you money. I don't see enough of those nowadays. As an investor, I see a lot of companies that approach me and they say, we're going to just continue to raise capital, and not actually earn any money for quite some time. Find a business where you put in some money and then you start making some money and you start generating revenue. You can turn a profit eventually while still continuing to grow and produce those venture returns. But making money, a business model, I feel like that's an important one. And of course, I didn't actually say the URL from the big event that I'm doing in Southern California. It's SoCal Startup Day. So just SoCalStartupDay.com. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And here is the website itself. If you can see the URL on the top, and if anyone has any questions, I'm sure Joe at Funding Post would be more than happy to answer and connect with you.
Yeah. Oh, and the final URL that you showed for /shout is /shout.com. SLASHSHOUT.com. Sign up for free. Check it out. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think.
Yep. And Archangels is just Archangel Fund, singular fund itself.
ARCangelfund.com.
Well, my name is Arjun, like Argentina without the Tina, and we had the privilege of talking to Joe Rubin of Archangel and /shout today. Definitely check out his events. They're worth it. Asking for a discount, I'm sure he'll give it to you. But till next time, thank you so much for tuning in to Content Masters, a HelloWoofy.com show hosted by your host, Arjun Rai.
Peace out.